Hello, this is Nitin Dahad with EE Times. I'm at the UK Electronic Skills Foundation booth at Microelectronics UK and speaking to Stewart Edmondson, who's the CEO of UK ESF. Stewart, hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Nitin. Yeah, nice to talk to you.
Good. Well, UK ESF has been going for about 15 years and your charter is pretty much to help develop the skills for the electronics industry, is that right?
That's right, yeah, we're celebrating our 15th anniversary this year, which is great. Started off really small, but we've grown over those 15 years. And yeah, our mandate and our remit is to help develop the future talent pipeline for the industry.
Okay, and this is very much UK focused, obviously UK ESF.
It is, yes, right across the UK, all four nations,
Okay.
and promoting our sector and trying to encourage more young people to be aware of the industry and careers and opportunities.
Okay, now I think one of the things I keep hearing in the last 2 or 3 years, maybe longer, is there aren't enough skills coming through in the pipeline, whether I talk in the US, whether I talk in India or Asia. There's just not enough people learning electronics. I mean, there's a history of people going to finance and then computer science, and now when I talk to VCs, they say, oh, there's a renaissance of silicon, but the renaissance of silicon doesn't come without the skills to go and design them. So what's the big challenge? I mean, why are we seeing such a skill shortage, or people talking about skill shortages?
I think you're right. It is a global challenge for sure, and it has been going on for more than 2 years. It's a long-term, endemic, systematic problem, and part of the challenge is that young people are aware of technology, they're familiar with technology. What they don't see is electronics and semiconductors within it, and therefore it's not as visible and not as obvious to them that there are careers and opportunities in the country. In the UK. I'd say the challenge has got two dimensions. One is a shortage of people, and we'll talk about how to tackle that hopefully later in the interview. But the second challenge is specific gaps. The UK has specific strengths in, say, design and packaging, but actually how do you develop the skills needed for that? And that's a challenge for universities and academics. But more generally, we want more young people aware of and interested in our technology.
So there have been some programs over the last few years you've been involved with, but specifically you've got some things you've announced over the last week, is that right?
Yeah, in the last week or so we've done three things. Which are our new strategy, and that's to ensure that we do encourage more young people to get into our subject. And how do we do that? Well, we're recognising you've got to start really young. And on the far side here, we have our primary electronics project. At primary school, we know the research says equal number of boys and girls are interested in technology, and if we can expose them to opportunities and get them involved with some activities in electronics, then we're sowing the seed early. As we progress to secondary schools, we rely on teachers. And what we've announced this week is a new award for teachers, sponsored by Synopsys, which really reflects the fact that our resources for secondary schools, which we've got into 800 secondary schools, are resources to enable teachers to deliver the electronics parts of the physics curriculum and the computer science curriculum in a really engaging way.
I mean, you've got this, which is quite cool, and you've got, what, about 8,000 or 800,000, 8,000 of these boards produced, yeah?
We have, yeah. Resources for state schools. We've reached about a quarter of schools, trying to do more schools, and our theory is that teachers, if they're capable and confident and have resources that allow learners to learn in a very visual, hands-on way, then the subject will become alive to them. Yes.
What's been the feedback? I mean, the children engage with it pretty well?
Yeah, absolutely. Feedback's been very positive, both from teachers who find the resources clear, helpful, and make their lessons more engaging, and the participants like them as well, because they can get their hands on and see things. And we see that translating into increasing interest in our university programs, and it's interesting, behind us we've got a photo of our current cohort of scholars from our undergraduate scholarship scheme. Really diverse bunch, and that shows the value of what we're trying to achieve.
And talk of diverse, I mean, I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago, you invited me to an event where Apple were sponsoring or supporting the girls into electronics. How's that gone?
Girls in Electronics is a really key program for us
Yeah.
to tackle that gender imbalance in the sector. Apple are our supporters, our sponsors of that program, and this year it's grown even more. We held 15 events, over 500 participants from around about 100 different schools right across the UK, and that's a really important event for us because the girls hear from female voices in academia, in research and in industry, and show that there are people who look and sound like them successful in our sector.
These are girls studying electronics, or they're at school?
No, that's right, yeah, year 10 and 11.
Okay.
So GCSE, first year of A-levels. So potentially choosing careers and opportunities for study. We want them to be aware that electronics and semiconductors is a career for them that they can have in the UK, and there are courses at university. So yeah, we want them to experience what it's like to be at a university and to get that hands-on, know that there is an opportunity for them.
So for our global audience, that's 17-year-olds, basically.
Yes, 15 to 17-year-olds.
Okay, and so I think this year you've got, 48 in that Girls in Electronics cohort, is that right?
Yeah, Apple provide mentoring, and we try, as well as a one-day event, we try and make it into an overall program, and we want to support people who used our resources at one of their schools, been to our event, who are then studying at university and then end up in careers in university. We need to, as well as increase the numbers, we need to have those role models that have followed our journey.
So what's next? I mean, what do you think needs to be done more widely, which is not being done? What are big challenges for companies to, you've got the skills charter, you had, I think, 33 companies recognized for the skills in terms of bringing people on.
Sure. Our skills charter, which we've launched this week, reflects the value that we place on partnerships with companies and recognises there's a whole lot of companies out there that are playing their part. And to your question about what companies can do more, it definitely needs to be a partnership. We need a partnership with schools, parents, universities, and particularly companies, and frankly to provide the visibility. Too many of our companies are doing great things, but no one knows about them. Nobody knows the inspiring stories about what's been achieved in our country, both in design and manufacturing, because it's all hidden away. We need to raise the profile, and the more companies that raise their profile, encourage more young people, get involved in our events and other events, and supporting young people, then we'll provide that future talent pipeline.
What drives you, Stewart? I mean, what got you into this 15 years ago, or what's your passion?
I do like the fact we are a charity,
Yeah.
and we're working with young people. I think that's, I'm at the stage of my career where I'm trying to do something positive for our sector and to give something back. What energises me is these young people. I find they are amazingly able, interested people who want to learn, and they're our future. We need to create that pipeline of young people, and I find them very energising when I meet them.
I meet many people who have that same thought in their mind, and I think what's key is how they can get involved, because I mean there are a lot of people like you and me who are older. Yes, for our audience, we're older, but who want to do these things. What do you recommend that they start doing those little things that they can do?
I think it's great if individuals want to volunteer and help, and I would say support your local school, and we provide resources and assistance to individuals. I think coming together though, and working collectively, we can try and do things on scale. So it's incumbent on us and other organisations to provide opportunities. So we're working on an idea at the moment of using libraries and creating a game to allow people.
You're talking about public libraries.
Public libraries,
okay.
yeah,
Yes.
as a space to look at some sort of gamification of our generation to be able to talk to a younger generation and share our experience and insights into the sector to raise awareness. It's a new idea, but we're hoping it will be able to develop that over the next couple of years.
Well, I think I wish you luck, and hopefully it does grow in terms of awareness. So thank you very much, Stewart.
Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you.